welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie. I'm a pre-retiree who's trying to come up with a plan. I would like to retire in about a year. So I've done a lot of investigations, watched a lot of YouTubers, done a lot of reading, watched some shows, attended some seminars regarding retirement and some of the things that are important and the things that we need to do to put in place prior to retiring. I think we're all a little nervous about retiring. You want to make sure that everything that you've done up to that point is going to sustain you for this long life that we want to live. So I have, through my research, come up with 10 items that are a checklist, I believe, for myself and my plan over the next year. And I want to compare in a year from now and see where those things have come into play for my plan. In my last video, I said there were 10 items and I gave 5. One was buy big ticket items, example, appliances, furniture, etc. Number 2 was home improvements in, flooring, a new deck, etc. Those kinds of things. New or used car. My husband and I both drive 20-plus-year-old cars, and we've done that on purpose because we've never wanted a car payment. It seems like those go on forever, and we just didn't want the car payment. We were trying to cut costs and raising our family, so we've driven our used cars for about the last 7 or 8 years, and they're both 20-plus years old. So I think we're probably going to have to look at something different here in the near future. My husband's car is just completely and not sure if it's going to be fixable at this point. He does all of our maintenance, and anytime our cars break down, he repairs them. He was a mechanic back when he was in college. So so much so that he's put in a car lift into our garage, which has been amazing. He doesn't have to crawl on around the floor, and it makes those things that he has to do, those jobs he has to do on the cars, a lot easier. So that's been a godsend. Number 4 was exercise regimen, and I mentioned that I do 10,000 steps a day. I know that's not a lot. I'm trying to up that, and it's really going to be nice to have that extra time to be able to go and walk and hike. We have so many beautiful trails in our area, and it would be nice to just be able to put that backpack on and go for a day and not worry about being back for a certain thing. Number 5 was liquidate assets to cover the first years, so you don't have to pay or that you pay taxes on them while you're still working instead of after you retire and then paying taxes on that. I thought that was a really good idea. So something that we're looking into and looking at the tax implications and all those things. One thing you're not going to find on my channel is anything. I'm not an expert in anything. I'm just a normal working American that wants to retire, and I want to make sure that there are certain things in place to feel comfortable to be able to retire and not be completely stressed out. I don't know if that's possible. It's like when you get married or have a baby, there's never a perfect time to do those things. But I've worked really hard all my life, and I want to be able to do something different. I'm not opposed to working part-time for the next couple years. That's fine. But, to make sure that there is income and things in place that are sustainable for a long duration, because I don't know, we plan on living a long time and doing a lot of things. So anyway, those were the 5 I gave in the last video. So the next 5 I'm going to give today, and I thought these were good things to think about, is number 1, any surgeries. If you have any dental work or medical needs that need to be taken care of, you've been putting off a surgery, a knee surgery, a hip surgery, whatever. It's a good idea to do that while you have your regular income coming in so that you can pay those deductibles and co-pays and company insurance and that kind of thing. So I thought that was really a good thing to think about. Was not something that I had thought about. My husband and I are fairly physically and whatever, we don't have any issues. We're not sick. We don't have a lot of issues, so that's a good thing. Number 2 was lowering certain living expenses. And the example they gave was like cable or your car insurance, negotiating with different companies to see if you can get your car insurance for cheaper. I know in some places seniors do get a break on that, and then in other places you're kind of penalized for it. So I think it depends on age and probably the area that you're living in, but that would be research that you would need to do. I have no idea. But cable is a good one because a lot of people are cutting the cable. For example, for us, we do have cable currently, but it is something that we have been discussing about canceling because we don't spend a lot of time watching TV. My husband watches sports. Right now it's season for baseball, so he has his MLB subscription. And anything else that we watch is either on YouTube or one of the other subscriptions that we subscribe to. So we're finding that we really don't need it. So we're considering cutting the cable. And I know a lot of people have done that. And I don't know, maybe drop a comment if you've regretted it. Maybe what a different option for us is. I am looking at different options, but not finding anything that meets our needs and that is way less expensive than the cable bill. Number 3 is they mentioned if you are a 2-income family, try to live on one income for a year and see how well you do. So the second person just try to put their money away for 12 months and see how often you need to dip into that. Thought that was a great idea as well. So I don't know, that's probably something that we're going to try over the maybe next 6 months, since we're not 5 years out, only 1 year out. So I'll probably try to do that over the next 6 months and see how well we do with that. Number 4 was have an emergency fund in place for car repairs, medical emergencies, home breakdown. So this is separate than the money that you would need for a couple years that are liquid. This is more of an emergency fund that you have at home. We already have one of those in place. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Dave Ramsey, probably before it was a big deal, back early in our early marriage, so probably 25, 30 years ago, we read his book back then, and we went to the envelope system. And the envelope system is where you have different envelopes labeled for different things: groceries, gas, emergency fund, birthdays, that kind of thing. And whatever expenses you have each month, you could put your money into that envelope. And we still do that. There's been times where we've definitely not been able to do that, and it's just been a hit and miss thing. But over the last several years, we've pretty well stuck to that, and it's been great because in case we do need to get a new used car, we will have the money in there for our down payment and not be stressed in trying to take it out of our check or out of investments or any of that situation. Like I said, we're just an average working family that has done everything that we can to try to do things right. Life always has its little surprises for you, so we're not exempt from that. We've been there, done that, and we're just trying to plan ahead and make sure that we've got quite a few things in place. So again, the envelope system has been great for us. It really works well. If there's no money in there, then there's no money in there. And we also have one for vacations and getaways. Number 5 for today is planning for appropriate taxes. So anytime that you do pull out money from investments, there are taxes that are going to need to be paid. So planning on those. Sorry, there was a message coming on the phone. And planning for those taxes that you may need to pay for in the future. Maybe having a separate fund for those, a separate place. Like I said, I am not any kind of professional. I'm not a financial advisor person. I've just talked to a lot of friends and family about retirement and pre-retiring plans, and I found that a lot of people don't dive into it. They don't go and investigate what options there are, and that's what made me start reading up and listening and finding those YouTube people that I wanted to follow that I could relate to. And they all have a lot of good suggestions and mistakes that they've made along the way. So I'm trying to pick up on those. We are all going to make mistakes, but trying to put certain things in place that I do feel comfortable when that day comes to be able to retire. So I hope those things help you. I think next video, I'm going to take you on a little ride on my side gig that I do. We'll go for a little ride and I'll show you how that works out. I enjoy it. I've been doing it, like I said, for 7 years to supplement our income, and it's come in really handy for a lot of times, you know, when you have those unexpected bills, unexpected things that come up, and to give us that fun money, spending money. So anyways, we'll see you in the next video, and have a great day. Bye.